Startups are known for having competitive salaries and great working conditions. And the perks can range from being able to work remotely from the comfort of your home or even from abroad, having free lunches, or a very generous personal development budget. So the dynamic environment definitely has its perks, but especially tech startups are really well known for disappearing just as quickly as they've bloomed. So tech employees are not immune to job insecurities or financial worries. And your job doesn't have to be on the line for you to worry that your main source of income is essentially, to a large extent, outside of your control. I found that what makes me feel more at peace is being more proactive about the income that I make on the side while I keep working in tech. Making additional income can help you feel more in control of your financial situation, and it can even help you develop a much wider variety of skills that might even be helpful in your main job as well. Finally, your side income can create a great financial buffer in case you wanted to take a career break or consider alternative career options. It would make it less likely that you would stay in a job that you're no longer interested in or feel really burnt out from, and help you see other alternatives. I'm Val, I'm a senior UX researcher at a tech startup, and I also make money on the side. And in this video, we're going to go over 5 ways that you can make income on the side while working in tech. I'll give you some concrete examples of how you might go about getting started, and also share some personal experiences from the field of UX research. The first way to make money on the side while you're working in tech is to do freelance work. The great thing about it is that you don't need much to get started, because you're essentially going to make use of a skill set that you already have and that you're already making use of in your main job. However, doing freelance projects can be a lot more adventurous, and the type of work that you take on can be a lot more varied. You also have a lot of choice in what type of projects you decide to take on. For instance, you might choose a project that allows you to focus on particular skills that you already have and you really enjoy exercising, or you might choose a project that allows you to develop skills that you maybe weren't able to develop in your main job. If you're already a senior professional, you might consider doing consulting, because it will provide a great contrast to what you might do day to day in your main job. And you can really harness the essence of your craft and avoid being pulled into mundane activities or processes. So how might you get started if you wanted to pick up some freelance projects on the side? First and foremost, I would advise you to go back to your contract. This is very important because you don't want to put yourself in the situation of a breach of contract. So do make sure that your contract allows it at the moment, and if not, consider renegotiating the terms of your contract. If you're not currently working, keep this in mind for when you're in the stage to negotiate your contract for your next position. There are a lot of freelance positions out there and even consulting positions that you can find. You can also be more proactive and reach out to organizations that you're interested to work for. I found that nonprofits and smaller startups are really open to freelance work, usually because it's actually cheaper for them to hire freelancers and contractors than to employ people for the longer term. The second way to make money on the side as you work in tech is one that I absolutely love and cannot get enough of, and that is mentoring and helping more junior professionals. It can really help you gain more confidence and self-esteem around your work. It's really easy to get caught up in the day-to-day task and lose the big picture out of sight and really forget how much progress you're making. You really don't see it on the day-to-day. However, when you're in touch with a junior professional who are where you used to be, let's say 2 or 3 or 5 years ago, it can really put things into perspective, and you find yourself being able to answer their questions and help them in their career development. It's extremely empowering both for them and for you. It's also really rewarding to have this kind of one-to-one relationship with a person and seeing them grow. Also remember that mentoring others helps you reach yet another level in your own expertise. It helps you become really truly proficient at what you do. And finally, mentoring others just helps raise your own profile and helps you establish yourself as the expert in the field. And it can be a really crucial way to help you go from a senior to a lead position when you can show that you are able to mentor and teach others. You can help develop other people. In terms of how you might go about finding those opportunities and finding people to mentor, first of all, LinkedIn is a great source. I often have people reaching out to me and asking me questions. So pay attention to those people, answer their initial questions, figure out what it is they're struggling with, and that will give you a good idea whether you're the right person to help them. You can also invest more into networking. So what I found works really well is attending conferences and events around your field of expertise. And that can be both in person and online. There's usually some kind of a contact sheet going around. So I usually put myself down as someone who's open to mentoring junior and mid-level UX professionals. And I've had people reaching out to me in the past by using this method. In terms of UX research conferences, my favorite one that I would absolutely recommend is UXRC. This year they actually had free online attendance. So that was a great way to network, to learn a little bit more, but also to get access to this huge pool of junior professionals who might be looking for mentoring. You can also use professional communities, such as communities on Discord or Slack, for these purposes. Of course, in this case, because you're looking to make money on the side, you're going to be offering mentoring services for a fee. And what I found really helps is, first of all, for people who are already employed, remind them that they can use their professional development budget for these purposes. This way, they're not spending their own personal money, but they're actually using money that is set aside by their employer for these purposes. Remember that this is not about maximizing your revenue for any particular gig or client. This is about the long game. This is about building habits and systems. A final remark in terms of mentoring. You probably are wondering, so how do I set it up? It sounds incredibly complicated. Actually, there are a couple of tools that make it very easy for you to manage your mentees or your clients, manage the scheduling, and also manage all of the bookkeeping for you. So things like invoices and receipts, stuff like that is taken care of, and you get paid through the platform, and you can download all of the receipts from all of the money that you've earned. When it's time to do your taxes, you don't have to worry about it and spend extra time managing your finances. I will link both of those tools below, and I myself actually mentor on Superpeer, so if you're interested, feel free to click on the link and book a session with me. A third way of making money on the side while you're working in tech is by creating commissioned content. And that could look like writing journal articles or blogs in your field of expertise. Doing so can really help you articulate yourself more clearly and concisely. It can help raise your profile and help you establish yourself as the expert in your field. And it can even help you get more job offers in the future because your name will be more well known and people will encounter it as they read through the articles that you've written. It's also just a really creative way to engage with your craft and expand your skill set. To do that, what you might start with is writing a couple of blog articles of your own and using them as a kind of portfolio as you approach those potential paying clients. You can also approach companies who use content as part of their marketing strategy. If you're having trouble thinking of specific companies, think of the companies in your field that provide software or services that are quite expensive. These companies will oftentimes invest quite a lot into their content strategy, and they will usually need people with a high level of expertise to write this content for them. They will need a skilled professional because people consuming their content, the people who are most likely to buy their product, are people who are professionals as well. So what if you're not yet a senior something? What if you're just a beginner? So in this case, yeah, your chances of getting commissioned work are probably pretty low, but it shouldn't prevent you from creating content. In fact, you can start creating content before you even get your first job. It's a really good chance to try yourself out, see where your strengths lie, and take other people on the journey with you as you develop your career. You can be more adventurous, you can explore different topics, and you don't have to worry about whether the people who've commissioned you to do the work will be happy with the kind of output that you produce. Of course, the downside here is that you're not being paid immediately for your output, and you're really playing the long game. And especially if you're someone working in tech, usually, if you choose a small enough niche, you can get sponsored content pretty early on. And that's because companies that try to sell their software or their solutions to tech companies usually charge quite a lot of money. But they also need to market their products to a very particular target group. And the fifth and last way to make money on the side while working in tech is actually by using your hobbies to make money. So yes, you don't actually have to use any of your actual day-to-day skill set to earn money on the side. You can be completely free from it. You can use your other areas of interest and your other skills to do so. This can be great if you just want a break from your main job and you want to finish your main work and leave it at work and do something else with your free time. But having said that, while doing something else with your free time, you can still find ways to make that profitable and to make money from it on the side. So you might sell your paintings or write fiction books or create t-shirt designs or teach classes on topics that are not related to your main job. I've actually done all of these things in the past with various degrees of success, but what I've learned is that if you do want to take your hobby to the next step and try to make it profitable, consistency is really important. You need to sit down and get really real about the type of commitment you want to make to this thing. And you need to schedule in the time in the week or in the month where you're going to be creating your stuff, whatever it is you choose to do, and you need to also schedule in the time when you're going to be marketing and selling that stuff. And it's important not to underestimate the amount of effort and commitment that goes into it. It will make it much more likely that you will stick with it if you're being real about the amount of time and commitment you're willing to invest. And that is because if you're just starting out, there's going to be so much you're going to be learning and developing in this first half a year or even a year of your professional life that you're going to need your weekends to just unwind and relax and not have other deadlines in your free time as well, because it can easily lead to you spreading yourself too thinly. I hope this video was helpful to you. Make sure to check out my newest video, and also if you haven't yet subscribed and you're looking forward to more UX research, career development, and money content like this one, make sure to subscribe. See you next time.